This is a DI box, and if you want to get professional level guitar recordings at home, then you're going to want one for your home studio. Now, I know a DI box is a hard sell because it took me years to finally get one. Every interface I've ever had has had some form of a line input or a high Z input, so I just never saw the need. I even went to school for audio recording, and I got to try this exact DI box multiple times, and I just didn't pick one up for years. Finally, one day I decided to impulse purchase one, and I learned how great of a studio tool it actually is. What does a DI box actually do? I need to get technical for a minute, so please bear with me. This is an instrument cable. It produces unbalanced, high impedance signal, which essentially means that it's noisy. Most of the time this noise doesn't matter, but when you're recording, you're trying to keep the signal as clean as possible. This is an XLR cable. It produces a balanced, low impedance signal that is much less noisy than your standard instrument cable. Now here's how both of these cables work. Unbalanced cables utilize a hot wire and a shield, otherwise known as a ground. Balanced cables, on the other hand, utilize an extra wire. In addition to the hot wire and the shield, they also carry a cold wire. This additional wire is what creates the noise reduction in balanced cables. The hot wire carries the signal as is, while the cold wire carries the same signal flipped 180 degrees out of phase. This combined signal creates phase cancellation, and it's actually very similar to how noise-canceling headphones, well, cancel noise. Why was this all relevant? It's because the DI box marries these two signals. You plug in your guitar here, as you normally would, connect an XLR here, and finally you'll plug the XLR into your interface. This converts the line level signal into mic level signal, producing a cleaner sound and ending the technical portion of this video. You can even see the differences on the waveform. Like for the no DI one, that is straight into the high Z with no gain added whatsoever. I turned the preamp all the way down and it's still coming in that hot. Now for the DI with no gain right below it, you can tell it's there, but the waveforms are significantly smaller. And even the DI with gain has so much smaller waveforms. I tried to get them as close as I could to each other, but you can tell just how much the DI box makes a difference with this. The biggest advantage to this, other than a cleaner signal, is gain staging. Using a DI box allows you to have so much more headroom when you're gain staging your guitars, which is essential for amp sims. When you use the regular line level or high Z inputs on your interface, the signal comes in pretty hot. You don't really have a lot of room to play with gain before you're clipping. But with the DI box, it's regular mic level signal and you'll have tons of headroom before you start clipping. Before using a DI box, I couldn't get a regular clean signal. It would always come in on kind of the edge of breakup, which is a nice tone in general, but not what I was going for on my recordings. And when using higher gain amp sims, forget it. It would come in way too hot, it would be way too distorted, and it would just end up a muddy mess. Another advantage to using a DI box while recording is signal splitting. When you're recording a real amp, you are committing to the tone of that amp. But if you're like me and you have tonal commitment issues, a DI box can come in and save you later. Now, if you see this through input, that's what you're going to use to record your amp and get a DI signal at the same time. You'll set up the DI box as normal, and then you'll use another instrument cable with the through input to send the signal from the DI box to your pedal board/amp. The main benefit of this is that you'll have a backup in case something goes wrong with your amp recording. I am an extremely paranoid audio engineer. I save every 5 seconds, I back everything up about 900 times, and I have still had things go wrong when recording. Files get deleted, files don't save properly, cables are corrupted and you don't realize it when you're in the middle of recording. When you record enough, you'll understand that things will just go wrong whenever they want to, and you don't always have control over it. Luckily, with the DI box, that dry signal that you split will save you. You're going to have to use an amp sim, but it's better than losing your perfect take. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be a backup. I've layered amp sims with real amps just to get a fuller, fatter tone, and it sounds great. If I'm not using just an amp sim, it's actually my preference for guitar recording. The one downside of these is the price. If you're just starting out building your home studio, it's probably not at the top of your priority list, and honestly, that's fine. It's not something you need off the bat, and I didn't even get one until I was on my second interface after I had been recording for quite a few years at this point. However, if you are planning on mostly just recording guitar and bass, this needs to move up on your priority list. I know it's not a flashy piece, but once you start using it, it's going to become your most essential studio piece. Other than my speakers and my interface, this is my most used piece of gear. It's not an amp, it's not a mic, it's this. When you finally get one, you won't be disappointed, and honestly, you'll just wonder why you didn't buy it sooner.